Steve Leisz, head football coach, Episcopal High School.
All right, Coach, you're calling it a career. What a career it's been. You know, what do you think you're going to miss the most?
Building relationships with the kids. And, you know, this was a family decision to step down. And when my wife told me man, I'm going to tear up right now. She goes, you're not about wins and losses, you're about relationships, and that's what you're going to miss the most, that building relationships with the kids. That's going to be tough.
It's so hard. That is so hard because, you know, how many lives do you think you affected? You affected thousands of people's lives over your 18-year career here at Episcopal. There's not another line of work you can really do that in. And you're molding kids at a very impressionable time. Talk about being that father figure for people like that.
Yeah, I think coaches really have the most direct impact on a young child's life, that, you know, even parents reach out and let you know, hey, can we steer them in this direction? And, you know, our big thing here is we tell them, you know, you're coming to Episcopal High School for academics. You know, football is just a tool. So, you know, we're here and I change it, but every Sunday night at our coaches meetings, when we talk, our number one thing we say is that we're here to build men of character. And that's our number one job as a coach. And I've been doing this since 1992, coaching and doing it in multiple sports. It's just a lot of students and, you know, have come around. And the great thing about it is those relationships last throughout high school. You know, I'm texting kids today, they're in their 40s, and, you know, it's just a lot of fun to watch them grow up and have kids.
Talk about the end of this season. This team was a special team also. Just talk about what it was like to kind of go out on top as the SBC champ with this group.
Yeah, we knew going in that this really was, you know, had the ability to be the number one team in all of Texas. You know, the season's not done. We're ranked number 2 in a big poll, and, you know, locally we're number 11 in the city of Houston, max preps, all classes. So this is a pretty special group, offensively and defensively. You know, it starts with the seniors, and, you know, they made it fun and enjoyable. The younger guys, and they were great leaders, and so the younger kids really wanted to play for them.
You know, and talk about the culture coming in here 18 years ago, and I think you like wrestling more than you like even football, because you are like a wrestling guy. But what culture did you bring here when kind of Episcopal was a little bit off the map?
Yeah, so really, you know, the wrestling is kind of that is more of a, you know, that's that one-on-one in the mat room. You know, football is about that scheming, building things, and so I love absolutely, you know, I love the mat room, and I love Friday night. So I love them equally. So they're awesome. You know, in 2009, our quarterback Shane Carden was one of the top quarterbacks in the country, but unknown. And Dana Holgerson was offense coordinator at U of H and loved him. Just absolutely loved Shane. And he went to Kevin Sumlin and said, this kid is a diamond in the rough. We need to offer him. And Kevin said, we're not going to offer a private school kid in Texas. They can't play. And Shane, because of the help of Dana, ended up at East Carolina with that Texas Tech staff with Lincoln Riley up there. And Shane ended up USA Conference Player of the Year, American Conference Player of the Year. And I think he had 8 touchdowns on U of H the first game that they played against him. And that kind of like blew things up, you know, where, hey, private school kids can play football. And that was our mentality. And if you know me, I'm always say, don't be scared to be great. And we always talk about that. And at the end of the day, we ended up getting more offers from Kevin Sumlin than any other coach because of that first, you know, Shane Carden.
You know, and, you know, talk about the wins and losses are great. The championships are great. Just talk about, you touched on a minute ago, what have you tried to build as your cornerstones in this program for kids?
Really about respect. And the kids see it. We respect them, and they respect us back, and kind of how we treat them. You know, we hold them accountable. You know, our staff, we're not about just beating them down, but we want to pick them up. And, you know, our kids don't need football. And so since they don't need football, it's like we want them to want to play football. And, you know, we almost say a third of our boys want to play football on campus, and we want to win and you know, and do well.
So with all of the wins and the success and the brand, you know, now look at this place now. You know, you're here and you build this, and now you have amazing facilities. How much of a resource has Episcopal been to you?
That's been unbelievable, especially since day one when I walked in here. I think we've had 120 or 140 applicants, and now we're at 650, and the school is just bursting at the seams. It's unbelievable where we've come in the last 18 years. This is a pretty special place.
It's won and lost in here. I mean, like, you can see you have athletic trainers, you have the kids that come here are getting the best opportunity you can get, academically and on the field.
Yeah, well, the one thing we say about our school here is the kids have a smile on their face. And I think that's one that's pretty special, and you can't hide that. And so when you walk around campus, they're smiling, everybody's saying hi, what's up, coach, how are you doing? And so and that also goes to a respect factor that they know we care about them, and we care about. And if you look at our stands on Friday night, it's full. It's 100% full. And I don't know if any student body in the state of Texas has the percentage that we have that come out to even support football games. So pretty neat deal.
What do you feel like, what role did you play in their success, in directing them and kind of nurturing their recruitment?
So we've had over 70 kids play college football, and we tell them we can take you as far as you want to go, that your ability will take you, and that you're willing to put into it. And the crazy thing about it is people want to do it, and you think, oh, well, Jalen Waddle went here, I'm automatically I can be one of those guys. It doesn't work that way. We have the #1 long snapper this year in the country. He's going to be in the All-American game. He's going to Iowa State. He's the first one in practice every day. Jalen Waddle was the first one in practice every day. They were setting cones up. They were picking cones up. If you have guys that come in, well, I want to be Jalen Waddle, but they don't want to set cones up. They don't want to be the first one that comes to practice. So you kind of have that in you, but we're trying to pull it out of you at the same time. And like I said, we tell you you're coming here for academics, and football is a tool. Then we're going to guide you to what's the best fit for you. And that could be a preferred walk-on somewhere. It could be Division III. It could be Division I. The one thing we don't have is that ability to tell a coach, this is your guy. Like, we can't tell them they have to offer them. They have to want to do it. But we can help that process along. And it's a difficult one, but we've had a lot of success along the way.
Who kind of flipped the script for you all to have coaches start coming this way? Was it Shane Carden? Was it somebody before that? Or
no, yeah, 100% Shane Carden. Shane was that one that he, as it came, when it came to the draft time, he was a 4th overall quarterback that year, 4th or 5th, and he should have had offers from everybody in the country. But at that time, Eddie Williamson was the line coach at TCU and a close friend, and he said, Coach, seriously, Shane is, there was no transfer portal back then. So he said, Shane really is the #2 quarterback on everybody's list. So as we get closer to signing day, he's going to get a lot of offers. But he's the one that he flipped that script by what he did, going to East Carolina. And then Lincoln Riley took that job from what Shane did and parlayed that to Oklahoma. Right after Shane graduated, Lincoln left. And so it's fun. I talked to Lincoln. I say, all right, did you make Shane or did Shane make you? Like, how? Because it goes both ways. It goes a little bit of both. A bit of both. So I'd say Shane's the one that did that.
And then you had a monster class with Walker Little and Marvin Wilson, 2 of the top players in the country. I mean, that was really an embarrassment of riches.
Yeah, and so Marvin comes in as a basketball player. He didn't play football. And he's doing our summer workouts and, weighing 260 pounds, and he's box jumping higher than everybody else. And I said, son, what are you playing football? And he goes, I'm the 40th best basketball player in the country. And I go, well, you'll be #1 in football if you play. And he goes, well, you'll have to talk to my mom. So I stuck around that day and talked to his mom, and Miss Sybil's like, take care of my boy. And, Walker just happened to move in from Clear Lake. They moved into West U and popped up so it was just kind of one of those things that, stars were aligning.
Desmond Jackson, Jalen Waddle, now Carson Gordon. Now the list continues to go on. How do you continue to maintain that star power?
Yeah, so then a lot of it too is you get that, Marvin's the #1 ranked player in the country, and he is there's only been 3 other Texans, well, 2 other ones. It's Vince Young, Adrian Peterson, and then Marvin. Only 3 to ever be ranked number 1 in the country. So people hear about that, and then they want to kind of be part of that program. Coaches are always in. People see it. Donovan Jackson grew up in Ohio. He once played Ohio State, and so they come in like, how well do you know Urban Meyer? Like, well, he was here last week. So, which they knew that, and so that helps, and the academic side of it. So Jalen Waddle his mom worked with one of our other coaches in training, and that's how she heard about Episcopal High School. So, things have to align, and kind of how it works out, and really when you walk our halls and you see our kids and their smiles on their faces, and 100% of kids going to college, you want your son in that environment. So that goes a long way.
Talk about also the experience of the Under Armour in the All-American Bowls. I mean, you were able to coach that. How cool were those experiences?
So in 2017, I was asked to be an assistant at the high school at the Army All-American game, and to be an assistant at that game, that means you have good players and you have a respected program. So they'll bring in 6 coaches from around the country, and and they're like, where do you want to coach? And I'm like, where do you want me? And so I ended up a D-line coach for that All-American game, and it was an unbelievable experience that the guys I'm working with, and then the funny thing about that was the coach that became the All-American game the next year, he thought I was a defensive coach. So he ended up Team USA head coach. So he called me up and said, hey, come be the defensive coordinator. And that was just because of our relationship. So we were on ESPN, I'm defensive coordinator. We gave up 1 first down and just dominated Panama. And then the next year, the Army All-American group called me and said, hey, come be the head coach. So I was the head coach for that, and the offense coordinator. It's fun, and Spencer Rattler was our quarterback, and you got a lot of great kids that from around the country, and it's pretty amazing because these kids are they're in high school and they're real humble, and it's a fun experience for a week.
What has Episcopal meant to you in your just overall holistic life?
That's a great question, because I really haven't thought about that, because I just live it every day. And I want to say I'm like one of the kids. I always have a smile on my face. I can get up with basically no alarm in the morning. I get here early. I love what I do, and I'm here till late at night, and it's an incredible place. The coaches, the staff, they're all great people. Our head of school is a great man, and I can't say enough about it.
Who has been your biggest influences coming through and building this program?
So in terms of prior to building the program, Gary McMillan at Kincaid was my mentor. He hired me in 1992, and he just gave me every opportunity to move forward. And I was to be the head coach at Kincaid. And he just said, give me 2 more years. And I said, okay. He said, give me 2 more years. I said, okay. And he said, give me 2 more years. And then at 6th year, I'm like, I got to go. And so I ended up coming here, and then they found out I was coming here, and they're like, no, you're going to be co-head coach with Coach Mack, but it wouldn't work out. And so this ended up being perfect. Dick Phillips gave me the opportunity here on campus, and it was pretty special. But I always have, in every game, I wear a towel around my neck. And the towel around my neck is because Coach Mack did that. And every game at Kincaid, and he's the winningest private school football coach in Texas history. And 2 of our cows that we open up with, and we've always opened up with, is what Coach Mack did. And so I do that for him out of the respect that I have for Coach Mack. He passed away September 30th, 3 years ago, and now it's a pretty special day in my life because of what he did. And without Coach Mack, I'm not where I am today.
Your role is changing, but what is your new role? What are you excited about your new role?
So it's kind of, I'm director of parent programs and school legacy. I do all kind of activities on campus, all senior activities. So like opening senior breakfast, homecoming dance, style show, pies handing out. It just throughout the year, there's all kinds of activities going on. I'm dealing with with the parents. And so that's my role and the great thing about my role with the parents is I know the kids really well. So I can communicate to parents about what's going on campus and with the parents. And so that's a great role. I'm also going to be I'll be an ambassador of the football program and the wrestling program. And I'm not going to be telling a coach what to do, but, I'll always be there to help support them in any way I can. My door will always be open. Knowing the history of the school, knowing our parents, knowing our program, and I kind of really look forward to that next chapter in life.
And finally, what's it been being the face of one of the most illustrious schools in the state of Texas?
I don't really look at it like that. People are saying that, but to me, my thing is, if you treat people with respect, you're nice to people, great things happen. And that's kind of the way I look at the program. It's a great program. I'm excited about where the program is today, where it's come. And I'm excited that we built it with Episcopal High School. So I don't look at me as like a face to the program.